I'll introduce myself. My name is Ryan Mulderig. I am also a member of the, sorry, I have two little kids who I came outside to get away from and they just charged out here. So I apologize. Maybe you'll see them if I'm unlucky later. Um, let's see, I've been working at BC for the past 10 years. I'm a BC alum myself. I graduated from BC in 2002. I had an econ major when I was an undergrad. And I've been working in the advising center for about 3 years now. And it's a job I really enjoy because I get to work with first year students who are trying to figure out what it means to be at BC and how to make the most of their time at BC. So that's who I am. I know it doesn't make sense necessarily to go around and get introductions from all the first years who are coming in. What might make the most sense is just to talk a little bit about what we do in our office and what services we have that we think might be helpful for you. And if there are questions and you want to put them in the chat or raise your hand or however you've been doing it in other sessions, we definitely want to just respond to what is on your minds and what questions you have, I think. Joe, do you want anything you want to start? Or I can lead off if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Ryan.
Okay. Yeah. So we're just coming to the end of our summer, and I know that all of you have been going through a part of the program with orientation that we have a piece of as well. We are located in Stokes Hall, and we are associated with the Marcy College of Arts and Sciences. So we primarily work with Marcy College students, but I can talk about kind of how the coming into BC affects students in all four schools. If you had worked with us in the past over the summer, really through the work that you did with your advisors. So if you remember all the way back to June, you met with your advisor in a 30-minute Skype call or a Zoom session to talk about classes and things like that. And then you put together your list of courses that you wanted by the end of June. And then we spent most of the month of July actually registering you for classes. We had to do it very differently this year because of everything that's gone on. And the fact that you're not on campus for your orientation and not able to sign up for classes yourself. So that was a very time and labor intensive process. And, we have heard from many students. I'm recognizing some names in this group who have contacted us with different questions and things like that over the course of the last month or so. And for the past few weeks, we've been fine tuning your schedules and trying to help people get into the classes that they want and make changes that they feel like they need to make. So that's a big part of what we do during the summer. The next part of what we do really impacts you from here and throughout your first year. So we will assign everyone a pre-major advisor. If you're in the Marcy College of Arts and Sciences, you have a pre-major advisor for your first year, regardless of what your major is. So you may know that you're going to be an econ major, you're going to be a bio major, or whatever else it may be. We're going to assign you a pre-major advisor. And that's the person you're going to work with over the course of your first year, who's hopefully going to get to know you a little bit better academically. Some of the folks in LTL are pre-major advisors, so you might wind up with a pre-major advisor who's someone from the office that you know there. You may also have a pre-major advisor if you are part of the Cornerstone program. So if you're taking a freshman topic seminar, or if you're in an advising section of a class like Perspectives or first year writing seminar, your instructor will be your academic advisor. And if you're not in one of those situations, we'll pair you with someone sometimes a little bit more random than others. If we can find an area of common interest academically, if you have a sense of what you might want to, get into, we can try to pair you with someone who is in that discipline. So you're going to find out who your academic advisor is if you don't know already next week. So after you move in and get settled a little bit, we're going to send you an email that says, here's the name of your academic advisor. And on Friday of next week, for most of you, you're going to have a group meeting with your advisor and whoever else is assigned to that advisor via Zoom. So we'll be sending you a link for that meeting, and you can get to know your advisor remotely that way. And we're asking our advisors to check in with you over the course of the following week to week and a half, through the end of the drop add period, September 11th, to make sure that they know, that they're available, answer any questions you might have, and some may be offering the opportunity for an individual appointment. And I would definitely encourage you to take advantage of that if that opportunity is extended to you. Joe, anything you'd want to add so far?
No, I right on. I think.
All right, cool. Just jump in if there's anything.
All right, will do.
So that's who the pre-major advisors are. You're going to see them, like I said, in the beginning of the year, and then the next time you have to see them again is when you register for classes in November for the spring semester. And you'll meet with them to talk about your academic plan, how things have gone so far, and what classes you are thinking about taking. And the next time you sit down to register for classes, you're going to be doing it yourself as opposed to putting together a list and sending it to us and us then turning around and registering you for classes from there. So hopefully you'll enjoy having a little bit more control, but it'll, I think, hopefully also make you realize how difficult it is to come up with a schedule and to place all those classes in there for you. So we, as an office, are available to you at any point during your, whether it be the drop add week or throughout the semester. If you have questions about your major, about perhaps you're having difficulty in a class and are trying to figure out how to get that sorted out. If you are in a situation where you feel like you need to drop a class or withdraw from a class, you'll have to meet with someone in our office to talk through that decision and make sure that it's the right one for you. So the way you're going to do that is, by going on to your Agora portal, and you'll see there will be a link for you to make an appointment with an academic administrator. I don't know if it's live for you yet, but it will be, and there'll be information coming to you that way. We're trying to decrease the amount of foot traffic we're going to have in our office, so we may be able to offer you, individual meetings, but when you schedule that meeting, we're going to ask that you be doing that online just to decrease the amount of traffic, like I said. But we're excited to get to work with you and to kind of help you through the course of the semester. Some other things we do, we have a staff of 7 undergrads who are our academic advising fellows, and they're going to be hosting drop-in hours for little questions you might have over the course of the first few weeks. I say little questions, I mean questions that are easily answered but that you don't necessarily have the answers to yourselves yet, and they can be a really valuable resource. They're all BC students who have done well and kind of had made it, taken advantage of the resources that we have, and we think are good ambassadors and people can help direct you. So we're going to be sending out information on that as well, and you can find information on that program through our website, which I can bounce over and show you maybe a little bit later on. That's kind of a quick explanation of what we do in our office. If you're in the School of Nursing or Lynch School of Education and Human Development or in Carroll School of Management, their dean's offices are similarly situated to help you work through these issues and questions and give you the support that you need. I'm not sure if anyone from those offices has talked to you or will be talking to you, but I can just say that, a lot of the same services that we offer will be available through the other schools as well. Any questions at this point? Things that you're curious about, things that you're not quite sure of?
We did have a student question.
Sure.
Someone was wondering, regarding the topic of changing classes, does that mean we have to set up an appointment through the Agora portal to switch classes for the semester?
You do not. So I believe it was last Monday, somewhere around noon. If you want to go digging through your BC email, you might be able to find it. We sent an email with instructions on how to use UIS to manipulate your schedule at this point. Up until last Monday, we had the schedules locked so we could fine tune things and make some changes before we opened it up to the entire first year class. But as of last Monday, your schedule has been unlocked and you can go into your schedule and make changes using UIS. So in the email that you received, there's a link to the Student Services website, which has some videos and some helpful screenshots of how to use UIS to make changes to your schedule. So no, you don't need to go through us, but if you have questions or you need help in making some of those changes, please reach out to us. We'd rather you ask for help than make a mistake trying to do it yourself and then wind up in a situation where you lose a seat in a class that you really had actually wanted to be in or something along those lines. This is very new for everyone, so don't be afraid to ask for help. We want to make sure that you get the right answers and that you don't try to do it by yourself and then wind up making a mess. What I'd like you to do is take a look, see if you think you can do it on your own, and if you have questions, let us know. It's important to start to walk before you learn to run. That was a good question.
We have a follow-up to that question.
Sure.
This student is not in MCAS, and they were wondering, was that email sent out only to MCAS students? And if so, is that process going to be the same for someone in like Lynch or CSUM?
I don't know if any of the other schools sent a similar email, so I would encourage you to reach out to your dean's office if you haven't, if you can't find an email that you may have overlooked that they had sent. It's quite possible that they didn't. So I would reach out to them. If you're in School of Management, your Portico instructor is your academic advisor, and that's who I would encourage you to touch base with first, especially around questions around your course selection and things. If you're in nursing or a School of Education and Human Development, I would just go straight to the dean's office. Any other questions? Now, is everyone in here going to be doing one of the an LTL seminar this semester? Is there one?
There is, yes. We have
Okay.
a lot of students. So we have an LLC this year. So a lot of our BC First students are in the LLC and are taking it in the spring instead of the fall.
Oh, I see. Where's the LLC living?
Newton in Hardy Cushing.
Oh, okay, very exciting. And so people will be moving in on Monday?
Not
most people?
students.
Not students.
RAs moved in yesterday.
Right.
And then I think maybe upperclassmen start on Monday, but they
Oh, okay.
don't start until I want to say the 27.
27.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm getting some head shakes. Yeah, I think they're the
All right.
27.
So I hope I didn't make you panic when I mentioned you'll be moving in on the 24th next Monday. I apologize. I clearly don't know the dates of the move-in. So don't start packing yet. Or maybe you should.
Or start packing.
Yeah. I think one of the overriding themes for our office and for BC in general is to keep your options open and really try new things. It's part of the liberal arts education is taking things that you think you might be interested in or you're not sure if you're interested in. It's as important to figure out what you don't like as it is to figure out what you do. That's why we have the core. It's why we make you take a class in philosophy, even if you don't think you might, even if you think you probably aren't going to be interested in philosophy. It's why we make you take a foreign language and become proficient in a foreign language and so on and so forth. You never know what class might pique your interest in college differently than how you'd taken classes previously when you were in high school. So try to embrace that as a learning opportunity as opposed to thinking of it as something that you need to like cross off the list or like get rid of certain core requirements, because it's really meant to be an opportunity to explore and really figure out what you want. Any other questions or things to add?
I have a question for Michael, if he's still there, if he's a Office fan. I see his Dunder Mifflin shirt that he's wearing.
He's hiding now. Oh, there he is.
Yes, I am an Office fan, actually. Thank you, though, for noticing.
I'm from Scranton, so I feel like everybody judges me because I'm from Scranton, and that's where The Office is supposedly filmed. But
Is the show accurate to the town?
it's fascinating because the restaurants and the places that they go to, the streets and the lake and all that, those are real places. So I'm always excited. I yell out loud when I say that's a real place. So when my wife and I got married, we had friends that came to our wedding just because they wanted to go to Scranton. So.
Big Office fans there.
Yeah, right.
One thing I'll say is just something else that popped into my head. One of the most common questions we're getting is, people are looking for, just like still waiting on that perfect schedule that they don't feel like they've been able to get, or there might be a class that they were disappointed that there wasn't, a spot in initially. We've seen since last Monday, things really open up a bit, and classes that had been full, we'll see spots opening up and then closing. So students are out there making changes, and I wouldn't be discouraged or feel like your schedule is set in stone until the end of the drop add period on September 11th. So pay attention to the classes that you may have wanted but not gotten, because seats may open up. And there's an app called Eagle Vision. I'm not sure, you may have had your orientation leader mention this to you, or you may not have. It's not an officially sanctioned BC app, so just keep that in mind. But what it does is it allows you to put in a course code for a course, say that you're interested in. So if your history core course that you wanted has been closed, but you really like to get that into your schedule, you can put in that course code into the Eagle Vision app, and then you'll get notified if a seat opens up. So you don't have to be sitting there refreshing the page or looking every single day on Agora to see if a seat has opened up. You can kind of let the app do the work for you. And then if a seat does open up, if you're quick, you can act quickly, you can make the change and add the course to your schedule. So if you're trying to, fine tune your schedule and really get that last class, or maybe there's a couple classes you're looking for, that would be a good way to do it. Okay, I'm looking at these questions from before. How do students choose minors and concentrations? Can I have a minor in a different school than I'm in? So I think sometimes people tend to approach the major decision as a, kind of a quantity over quality type of thing. People think it's, sometimes think it's more impressive to have a double major or a triple major, when in reality, all it says is that you're concentrating really heavily on one or two different things as opposed to looking more broadly. I encourage people to do minors as opposed to majors if that is something that they were trying to get exposure to. Minors are typically 6 classes, while a major is 10 or sometimes even more. So a minor is a good way to get exposure to a subject area without having to spend too many, classes in that major area. So really, it should be something that you're interested in, because if you're going to spend a significant amount of time taking classes in a subject, it really should be something that you enjoy, or else it's just going to be drudgery. You can have a minor in a different school. Carroll School of Management has 6 different minors that you can take, and all but one of them is open. So any student can just declare that minor. There's one that you need to apply to, and that's the managing for social impact, which they just want to know that you have some kind of plan or idea what you want to do with the minor. And then there's also through the School of Education, you can be a minor in applied psych and human development. I don't know if you can minor in the School of Nursing. That's the one thing. I don't think they have a minor program that's open to students in other schools. Can the advising office help me learn about different study methods? I wouldn't say it's a specialty of ours. I think the Connors Family Learning Center, which is located in the O'Neill Library, they focus on tutoring and also can address like different learning styles and things like that. They are a good stop for that kind of thing. And also our Office of Health Promotion, which runs some seminars on like time management and study skills and stuff like that. That is also another good place to go to. I'm nervous about the academic rigor of college courses. How should I prepare for that difference? How should/can we plan to approach our classes, since they will be different than our high school classes? I remember this from when I was a first-year student. I think it's important to actually pay attention to the syllabus when it's gone over the first day of classes, and also to do your homework with the syllabus after that class is over. Sit down with it. Get a sense for when are my big assignments going to be due. If it's a reading heavy class, how is that reading distributed throughout the semester? Things like that. That will help you plan. If you can put that all into a calendar or whatever works best for you, just to see how everything lays out, that can help break down some of the tasks you're going to have in front of you, and you can really try to start to identify when are those busy times going to pop up, and when are the times where you should really be taking advantage of the fact that you don't have a lot going on, where you can prepare for what's coming. I think that's one of the biggest differences, is so much of your high school experience has been programmed for you. You show up, you go all day through classes, you probably had extracurriculars and stuff at night, and you go home and you kind of like rinse and repeat. You're gonna find that you have a lot more freedom in your schedule in college, and that freedom can be, it can be great, and it can be very nice to feel that sense of independence, but it can also be really easily squandered. And I wish to say that I handled my freedom really well, but I played a ton of Nintendo 64 GoldenEye when I was a freshman, and did not utilize my time all that well all the time. And the fact that I could stay up till 4 o'clock and no one would tell me to go to bed was something I definitely took advantage of. You're going to face those same kinds of things, although I doubt many people are playing GoldenEye anymore. It might be Fortnite or something like that. You have a choice, right? And it's up to you, but I think kind of making sure that there's a balance between giving yourself that independence for some fun, but also taking advantage of the independence and learning how to structure yourself is a good skill. How often can I meet with my academic advisor? I would say that daily is probably too much. Your advisor is there to talk through things with you. We want them to be a person who you feel comfortable with. One of the first people you talk to about big decisions, but you don't necessarily want to look at your advisor, someone who like your personal tutor or study guide. We want you to touch base with them, keep in touch with them, ask them questions as they come up. But their availability is really going to differ by who they are and what their role is. Many of them are faculty, but some of them are administrators who work in different offices on campus. We ask them to give a certain amount of time over the course of the semester, and many of them are generous beyond that. If you find like you can't get the support from your academic advisor that you'd like, that's what we're here for, right? So if you feel like you can't meet with them as often as you think you need, or your questions aren't being satisfactorily answered, we want you to come to us. If I'm not sure what my major is, or I'm not sure what major I want to have, can my academic advisor help me figure out what good options may be? Yes, we want them to be part of this conversation with you. What do you like? What types of classes do you like? Do you like classes where you're reading and writing more? Or you like classes where you're doing more quantitative problem solving, things like that? Do you like big lecture halls, or do you like small discussion groups, right? All that information goes into this kind of like decision that we're making. So we want your advisor to be someone who you can talk through those questions with. If you're worried about what you're going to do with your college degree when you graduate, and the question we get a lot is like, well, what am I ever going to do with a philosophy major? The Career Center is a good place where you can go, because they keep a list of every year when you graduate. They'll follow up with you in 6 months and find out where you wind up working. And they have this website where you can go and you can click philosophy major, and you can see for the class of 2019, 6 months after they graduated, what were these people doing? What was the percentage who were like either employed or in school? And if they're employed, what are the employers where these people were working? And it can really help to like break some of the myths around like, what do you do with X? Or like if you are an econ major, then you can only go into business. Or if you're a history major, you're only ever going to be a teacher, or some of those other things you might think, because you'd find that these employers are looking for people who can read and write and think and critically solve problems and things like that. And there's a lot of majors that help you get there. And your major is not equivalent to a career path, right? And we want to try to get out of that kind of thinking. What year do you have to declare your major? You have to declare a major by the end of your sophomore year. So you just need to make sure that you have something other than undeclared by the time you finish your sophomore year at BC. Many people know already, and some people take all the time that they have. I think that's all the questions that popped up there. Anything I may have missed, or I put my foot in my mouth, Joe?
No, that was eloquent. Eloquentia perfecta is a term that the Jesuits use to describe people who are trained in kind of the critical thinking, speaking eloquently, hence the word. So Ryan is master of eloquentia perfecta.
Thanks. Can I show our departmental website just so you can get a feel for it? All right, cool. Thank you for the thumbs up. All right, so I'm sharing my screen here. This is where you will get to if you go to bc.edu/AAC. A big part of this is we want, since not everyone could be on the call today, you can see our smiling faces down here on the contact page. This has all our email addresses for the people you might want to work with in our office. We have people in our office who work specifically with students who are considering pre-health. So that's Erin and Maureen here. We have our administrative assistants are on here as well. And further on down, you'll see these are our class deans. So Joe, who's on the call today, you can see what he looks like without the hat on and without the COVID hair. And these are the sophomore, junior, and senior class deans as well. So that's our contacts. We have write-ups here about how the advising process works. A particularly helpful resource is this major and minor requirements tab. So we've gone through the trouble of we've put all the major, minor, and interdisciplinary program requirements in one spot for you. So if you're thinking about being an art history major, you can either search for it in this bar or you can just find it down below. You can click learn more, and now you can see, all right, it's a 33 credit major. It tells me, kind of what are the degree requirements, what are the courses I need to take, so I can see all right, I need an Intro to Art History 1, I need an Intro to Art History 2. If I'm a first year student, that's probably where I'm going to have to start, is one of those two classes. And then you can see kind of as you progress through what other requirements come along the way. You close that, you can look at different majors and minors and things like that. We think this is really helpful than going to each individual department's page to kind of try to figure out what their requirements are. So that's a good place to stop. And on our main page, we have, this is summer specific FAQs. And then down below, we have kind of the general, how do APs work? Who's my academic advisor? How do I add and drop courses? All these FAQs are then expandable, and you can, this is a good place to go. If you feel like this is a question that you should be able to find the answer to, check here, because most of the most commonly requested information will live here. So I would encourage you just to poke around on our site a little bit and become familiar with the resources. I realize where we are on time, so I wanted to make sure we cut it before we overran. Do you want me to answer this one, Hannah? What would I reach out to the associate dean of my class about? The deans are going to meet with you if you're considering taking a leave of absence or potentially withdrawing from BC. If you wind up having academic difficulty that requires some higher level intervention, your dean would be someone who would meet with you. There's also always a chance that if you're trying to make an appointment that the dean is the person you wind up meeting with, right? So they're definitely there for those kind of higher level of concern type of situations, but really always there if you need to talk to somebody.
I'll just chime in a moment. I mean, this is fantastic, and I'm learning a lot listening to Ryan as well. Ryan spoke a little bit about a difference between high school and college, and I just want to emphasize something here. You're in a good place. Boston College prides ourselves and being a place that supports students, that is passionate about learning, and there's a expected rigor that comes along with being a member of the BC community. So you're in a good place. Two things. One, if you're feeling any bit of anxiety about your start into the college life, please let that go as much as possible. We want you to arrive. This is a bizarre, most unusual time for all of us. So we want you to arrive as fresh as you possibly can, and open to the experiences that await you. College is tough, no doubt, but a place like Boston College is a safe place where we hope to encourage as much inquiry as possible during also a very interesting year that awaits us. So so that's my first point, is to, I hope that you are relaxed in coming to us. Know that we have a support system that is in place that is over 450 years old. The Jesuits have been doing this for a very long time, and it's been mastered. So know that you're in a good and a safe place that is welcoming to all people, regardless of any kind of situation that you're coming from. This is a good place. Point two is that we are different from high school, and so there's an expectation that you plan ahead as much as you can. Nobody's knocking on your door. There's not going to be somebody that's emailing you saying you didn't show up to class today. But that doesn't mean we don't care. It means that you're an adult, and so as an adult, we expect that you do what adults do. For example, that website that we just showed you is really important to review that in detail. Review the academic planning workbook that you received. Know what the syllabus says, as Ryan mentioned earlier. Those are all really important things that adults do, and so that's what we expect of you as a university student. Because let's face it, BC is a really important place. And so when we look at the national sphere of colleges and universities, BC ranks at the top of those. And so we expect greatness. And we know that admissions does a great job in admitting you. So those are the two things. One, relax. If you're feeling anxious and nervous, but also number two is be prepared as much as you can, because that's what we expect of you. That's what it means to be part of this community.
Any other questions? Thank you so much. That was wonderful as well.
Looking forward to meeting with all of you and helping you as much as we can.
Yes. BC First students, please don't log off yet. We have a few announcements for you, so don't log off yet. But if we could say thank you to our academic advising team for coming on. Thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Be safe.
It was great,
Welcome to BC.
Yeah.
great to be with you.
Okay, folks, it'll be really fast, and then you'll get your like 20 minutes back in time, so that's exciting. First, in the newsletter, I got the date wrong. I said it was on Friday, our social event where we're talking about your strengths. It's on Thursday. So I'll send an updated email out, but just so you know, I made a mistake and I apologize. It's gonna be on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, not on Friday. That's my first announcement for you. My second announcement for you is that next Monday, we're having our big, yes, and Sarah will update the Google Calendar. So you'll be able to see it there. I'll send out an email, but I just wanted to get that across right now. We're having our virtual program closing next Monday on the 24th. It'll be really fun. It probably won't take the full hour, but we want to celebrate the end of the virtual component of this and start to welcome you officially to BC. You'll also be getting some stuff with us on with guidelines about moving in, packing tips, things like that. So you're going to be getting more emails this week. Make sure you're keeping an eye out and staying up to date on those. And then once you actually get here, you're not done with us. We're going to keep emailing you. We're going to keep having programs, and we're going to hopefully have some sort of in-person program for you in September. So because we don't really know what the university is doing around large gatherings, since there's 43 of you, we don't have it all figured out yet, but please don't forget about us after next Monday, because we're still going to be doing things for you all. I know that that was a lot of info. Do you all have any questions about those three things or anything else in general? Cool. Sarah or Carl, do you have any other announcements you want to make before we let everyone go a little early? No. And I think that's a no for Carl. So you all can go enjoy your Monday. Thank you so much for coming for our last official real life skills session. I hope you enjoyed it.